Hello everyone and welcome to Monday. Today we're going to be doing something pretty unusual, at least for us. We're going to be doing a product review. And if you've been watching the vlog for any amount of time, you'll know that that is weird for us. We don't really do them. In fact, over the course of the entire history of Steven Vlog, I think we can count on one hand the amount of product reviews we've ever done. And it's not because we haven't been asked. We probably get asked weekly to review various products, but I always turn them down because usually there's something I'm not interested in, or there's no way to verify the quality of said thing. And I don't want to ask people to send stuff and be like, oh, this is garbage. However, I recently got an email from a company called Lepow, and they said, we make, I guess the product type would be like travel monitor. It's like a travel, it's like a portable monitor. And they said, we make these. We wanted to know if you wanted to review them. Now, this is normally where I would just immediately delete the email and move on, but one thing that was different here was that they included a link to their Amazon listing. They included a link to where you could buy it on Amazon. So I clicked through, and I saw that there was actually thousands of reviews, and it was highly rated. And I was like, wow, let me give this another look. So I went through and I looked at the product, and I was like, I wouldn't mind reviewing this, especially for the fact that we could always use another monitor in the house, but especially a travel monitor specifically sounds useful to me, which I'll get to in a minute. So I asked them to send it, and they did. And over the last few days, I've been using it in various capacities, and now I feel ready to actually talk about this monitor. So what is this monitor? This is the Lepow Z1. And I'm going to put a link to the Amazon listing in the description. Again, I had faith to actually try and review this thing because so many other people had already bought one and reviewed it and already highly rated it. So I felt like I could at least have some level of initial trust. So we actually did a unboxing of it a few days ago and I filmed it. So let me go ahead and tell you what you get. So once you open the box, the first thing you're going to find is a screen protector, which is a nice little extra. I don't know how good the screen protector is. I did not put it on the monitor, but it's nice that they include it. You also get a warranty card. On the warranty card, it says for 3.5 years. I don't know a whole lot about the company, so I can't verify that information in terms of how good they would be about their warranties. But it does come with at least a supposed 3.5 year warranty card. You get a power adapter, which is just a brick that a USB plug plugs into. It comes with two different types of USB cables. One is a Type C to Type A, and then it also comes with a Type C to Type C. And that's because on the monitor itself, you've got two Type C USB ports, as well as a mini HDMI port. It's not a full-size port, but I guess that would make the size of the monitor too big. It also comes with a little cleaning kit, which was nice. And then the monitor itself has a magnetic cover, which reminds me very much of the magnetic cover that the iPads use. It's really cool. It can be used, obviously, for protection, but then also it can stand on its own as a result. So we started using it for a few various purposes. Whenever I did Morning Mario, I actually had it on the side of my desk. I plugged it up to my phone. Obviously, I have a Lightning to HDMI adapter for that. You can't natively plug an iPhone into this thing. You have to convert it to HDMI. But it did, and it worked. It showed up just fine. I also let Mal use it on Saturday night because her monitor, the monitor that she actually has in there for her Windows games, is not even a full 1080p monitor, whereas this is. So I was like, why don't I just let you use this one? We can test it, because we were actually playing Among Us. So I hooked it up to her computer, no problems, it works fine. The monitor itself does have speakers in it, but they're obviously not ideal. If you need to hear something, then it'll be just fine. But don't expect anything luxurious from a tiny thin monitor like this. It's literally just so you can hear the audio. But I think Mal actually just had headphones on, which works just as fine. But the thing that I'm most excited for me personally, and the reason why I wanted to review this thing and use it at some point in the future. And it's hard to talk about travel right now because, 2020. But when we travel, this monitor will be really great to take with me because of this. It connects to the MacBook. So the MacBook is what I do, historically it's what I've done all of my editing on, but now it'll be what I do all of my travel editing on. And having a second screen is really, really nice. Now, obviously, it's not a Retina display like the MacBook Pro, but it's still 1080p, and the color representation is good enough. So for what I need, it's really, really useful. And as a bonus, this connects with just one cable. And that's awesome. And it's included with the monitor. So you get a Type-C to Type-C cable, and that's the only cable that's hooked up. The MacBook is not hooked up to power. This is not hooked up to power. With just a single USB-C cable, I can connect the MacBook to this, and then I can, use it as a screen. And that's going to make a lot of things easier on the go because it'll make editing easier because I'll have a bigger screen to work with, which is nice. It'll also make doing live streams whenever we travel much easier because we'll have a second dedicated screen for either seeing ourselves or looking at chat, etc. So there's a lot of different options for us. So as a travel monitor, this thing seems really, really good. Now, a few things to keep in mind if you are looking to pick up something like this yourself. This does use Type-C, but it comes with the cables. I know that this works with a single cable on the MacBook Pro. I have not tested this with other things. For instance, you should be able to plug in, a switch into this. And I suspect that the switch would send its video signal just fine, although I have not tested that. Maybe before the video ends, I'll go plug that in. For things that don't use USB Type-C, it does come with this HDMI cable, but keep in mind that the plug on the monitor is a mini HDMI plug. Again, it comes with the the cable for that, but this thing is only 3 feet long or something like that. So I would recommend, if you're going to be using this monitor to something that's a little bit further away, to pick up a adapter, which is one of the things I have. It's a mini male on one end and a full-size HDMI female on the other. Then you can use just a standard HDMI cable. Now, of course, if you're going to keep this thing close to your device that you're streaming from, then I guess it doesn't matter. But for me, if I want to plug this up to something that's far away, this is easier than continually buying mini HDMI to full-size HDMI cables. This will save you a lot of headache. Otherwise, if you're using HDMI, HDMI doesn't send power. That might be obvious. So you will be using, USB. So the included Type-C to Type-A cable fits into the little brick. And if you're using HDMI, you'd put HDMI on one side and then this on the other to power it. From my experiences, it looks like you can power the external monitor on either side, though, and it works just fine. Otherwise, I'm trying to think if there's any other real thing to talk about. There is a headphone jack. So if you wanted to hook up headphones or speakers, I guess you could do that. The way that you adjust the menu stuff is this little notch here. You push it in, and then you have a few options that you can change: brightness, contrast, etc. You can change the aspect to like 4:3. It's very basic stuff. This is also where you adjust your volume on things as well. It says HDR mode, but not sure what that would be. Obviously, this is not hitting anywhere near enough nits to be an HDR monitor. For what it is, it's useful. And for the price, which, as of right now, on Amazon is under $200, I think it's fair. It would obviously depend on your use case. For me, having another screen that goes with the MacBook Pro connected by a single cable, and the form factor, because the form factor of this thing, just unplug this quick and just show you how small this is. I mean, it's a tiny little thing. Because of that, this thing is going to be useful to me. Are there, better products out there in terms of maybe like screen quality or build quality or something. I mean, maybe, but the build quality on this seems fine. It actually seems quite rugged. And for the price, I think this would be hard to beat. Now, I'm not an expert at any of these external portable monitors, and I hope that that's clear. But for using one of these for the first time, I'm pretty impressed for what it is at the price point that it is, particularly the portability and the ability to broadcast the MacBook Pro's signal over a single USB-C cable. That is by far the most useful thing for me. Okay, let's hook up the switch. The answer is yes, it will connect with a single cable, although the monitor itself has to be receiving power. So if you hook this up, just the switch to the monitor, because the monitor doesn't have any sort of built-in battery, something to note. It has to receive power from something. In the before case, it was receiving power from the MacBook. It will receive power from this, but it's not enough to power both the monitor and send the video signal. So if you're giving this juice from the wall, or I guess from like a computer, anywhere it was getting power, and you connect the included Type-C cable from the monitor to the switch, you can play on this bigger screen. So this would actually probably be a really good fit for, you know, traveling, yeah, but I was thinking specifically for like airports and airplanes. That would make this really, really nice because, you know, the Switch is nice, but I mean, you can see here, like the size comparison of the Switch versus this, you know, this is definitely a bigger screen. All in all, I'm pretty impressed with the little screen, especially at the price point. Once again, I will include a link to the Amazon listing in the description. And again, thank you to Lepow for sending a screen my way so I could actually try the thing out. Also, this was not a sponsored video. Lepow did not pay me in any way whatsoever, although they did send me the screen. So I guess keep that in mind. But I'm satisfied just for the fact that it will, it'll connect to the MacBook Pro over a single cable. And actually knowing that it does this with the Switch is helpful too, because I could see myself playing on a much bigger screen, you know, in an airplane or something like that. Actually, I think what would be really nice for this specifically is like if I was sitting next to Mao on a plane, we could play like a 2-player game and we wouldn't have to like try and squint at the really tiny Switch screen. I guess it depends on the game, but that's something to consider too. Anyway, that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, let's meet back tomorrow, shall we?